Hello, everybody. Welcome. Sorry for the delay. Technical difficulties. And welcome to the first live stream for here on Believelandia. I am your host, Jim Myers. Welcome to absolutely nobody. So, we will be talking to ourselves, but I wanted to go live for a while now. This is way better than trying to record videos whenever I could get the chance. So I'm forcing myself to do this live. For today, and to kick this all off, is we're going to get into the Browns. Because all the QB talk, all this Shedeur Sanders crap, that it's a given. I don't know where people are getting it. I'm not here to poo-poo on that, but I am not sold on that thought. And I don't know, man. I don't know. So I'm here to give my thoughts. First, that's what I'm here to do. So, that's the premise of the main event, let's say, to give it some meat to it. I also want to get into the first two rounds of the tournament. They've absolutely sucked. I know I'm probably in the minority on that, but in my opinion, it's been abysmal. The quality of play, the amount of not close games at all, is really took me out of sitting back and trying to enjoy all day basketball, all day, all night. I lasted the first day, but the first round, you usually have one of those days. It's either the Thursday games or the Friday. But at some point, you would have at least a few good games, close games, competitive games, and then maybe an amazing upset or a close one. And it didn't happen, really. I mean, McNeese, maybe. But Colorado State, I guess. But, I mean, come on, man. I just don't know. Maybe I'm getting old. It just felt very lackluster. It was quite disappointing. And we'll get into it more, but I mean, but that's coming up today. The Guardians, we're going to talk a little bit of the Guards. They made some noise about Tanner Bibee. And then you've got the Cavs snapping their 4-game losing streak, which three games. I wasn't getting worried. Then they went to Phoenix, and uh, Donovan Mitchell decided to go for 2 for 18. Not good. It's I. It's good to see that they bounced back, but by the sounds of it, I didn't get too into what happened against the Jazz, but they they ran into the really bad Jazz, so probably a good thing for them. But we'll get there too. Give you a rundown about what's going on. Mock draft Monday. Anybody? We'll get into a couple of those when we talk about the Browns. Um, uh, what else? I think that's it. So, let's get into it. For many that come in to check this out, like and subscribe, and let's go. We are live. Turn that down. All right. So let's get into it here. My bit rate is crazy. So I apologize for all the clunkiness. Let's see if that works. All right. So, like and subscribe, please. Follow us on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, whatever floats your boat. Also, please go to Believelandia.com. That is the hub for all things that will go on here. I have some writing too, if you would like to read an article. Uh, for the most part, like if you want to have a chat for the absolutely zero people that are in the chat, you'll need to subscribe, and then we can talk. Yeah. Today we're gonna get into it about the Browns, and it's gonna, if as we get in, it might get a little contentious, if you know what I mean. This fan base is very divided about what to do in the draft. I don't know why there's all this division. Like, the Shadur Sanders thing isn't, like, the people against it aren't hating on Shadur. It has more to do with his dad than anything. But it's also the fact that he might be the number 2 quarterback in the draft, but he's not the number 2 pick in the draft. You're picking that high. Again, we'll get into it, but you're picking that high. Are you going to really come away with the depends on who you look at, but the 8th ranked player the overall prospect board, that doesn't sit well with me for a team that, yes, they've they have desperately needed a quarterback for ever. I'm 44. I've been saying this since I was 20. I don't know if this is a new thing for some people, but I mean, I understand. I very, 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 very much would love to see a quarterback come in and plant the flag as I'm the guy. But until we start getting real about it, you know, you want all these fancy names. You want Dion's boy. It's, you know, these are the same people that wanted Johnny Manziel. And look how that turned out for you. It's this, it has this same feeling about, uh, sorry for the noise effects. That was not intended. Price is on in the background. The fun of doing all this live in the afternoon is comical for me. I don't know. I don't know if we can keep going live right now. This is kind of bumming me out. Oh, I don't know. We keep going up and keep going down. Keep going up, keep going down. Let's try soft. Let's try something. If this helps. We'll mute the fun background music, I suppose. See if that helps any. You got too much going on. Take that off for you. Please like and subscribe. But yeah. I'm not too sold on Shedeur Sanders at number 2. Now, if you trade down, I could understand it more. He's very... Look, okay. Before we get... We'll get into it again. In the main event. We're going to get into the first 2 rounds, though, because I've got something to say about it, and we might as well rip that Band-Aid off, because I'm not going to spend a crazy amount of time on it. The first 2 rounds sucked, period. And look, we can go over it. We can talk about it. It's all right, but I'm not gonna go over every game. I won't, because you want to do that. Go on some major crap, but I believe. I just want to point this out. Thursday night, or Thursday, There were 16 games that day and night. 14 of them were not close. Not even close. Friday, about the same thing. 16 games, 12. 12 games were not close. It was a little better, but no, not to change my mind. Second round, out of 8 games on Saturday, 5 were not close. So let's go back first round. The 2 days, first round, 32 games, 26 were not close, not even watchable. It's, I don't know. You could point at NIL and how the bigger programs or the major programs are now just taking over, and there's no chance for the little guy. And I hate to say it, but and I don't like it because I love the upsets. I that's what the tourney's all about, is to shine some light on possibly really good players that you've never heard of, that don't come from much of anywhere, and they get a chance to show what they can do. And it's kind of it sucks, really. It does. I don't know. It's very hello. Stream health is excellent, but we are not. Goody. So why are we not hearing ourselves? Hello. The joys of live stuff. Good stuff. Go live, they say. It's a good way for content engagement. Well, you can't really do that if I don't know. I don't know. There we go. All right, I guess we're back. To do all this stuff is quite something, folks. I tell you. All right. Where was I? Oh yeah, the first 2 rounds sucked, and without trying to go over every goddamn game, and get too deep in the weeds about it. All right. I just, I guess, not have a ton of shit running all at the same time, I suppose. Um, yeah, like I said, 32 games Thursday and Friday. 26 of them were not close, and then weren't good fun to watch at all. Saturday and Sunday, 10 out of the 16 games between the 2 days for the second round were not close. Now, I understand Maryland had a good buzzer beater, but it's Maryland beating Colorado State, and Maryland was the favorite, and they had to beat Colorado State at the buzzer. And it was the late game that, if you made it that far, cool, but I didn't make it that far. Florida had a good game with UConn. Don't tell Dan Early that. He had he had some thoughts about the officiating. So, but also, if somebody would have told me that Florida had a 7'9" center, like before I filled out brackets and I didn't pay attention to college basketball at all, shit, I would have picked Florida. I've never heard of a 7'9" center. Holy shit. And he's not like the typical, like, super tall, skinny rail that can't really move. Dude looks like a power forward, like built like a power forward, but he's 7'9". Jeez. So, I don't know. Now my bit rate. Why is... Goodness. It goes from healthy, excellent, and I'm not doing nothing. I mean, crap. Goodness. Oh well. Waiting for everybody to come on and jump in, I suppose. Good to see you, Zero. I'm just kidding. There's absolutely nobody in the chat. But I guess we'll just do this thing. All right. So, yeah. Didn't like it. Not at all. And, I mean, if you got your all chalk on your bracket, you're probably in very good shape. If you tried to pick any upsets for that matter, or any of the fun ones, it's probably about half and half. You might... Hold on. I'm going to have to close stuff up. Goodness. Sorry about that. Cool. Still low bit rate. All right. Well, the show goes on, I suppose. Goodness. What a fucking clusterfuck this has become. Damn. They say, oh, go live stream. Oh, expand your audience. I don't have an audience. But I wanted to get into the rhythm of this, and I figured doing live would be a really good way to go. That way I can get it recorded if people happen to drop in and want to give their takes or argue. I'd be more happy to oblige instead of just recording and throwing a video out there and all that. Because ultimately, I want people to chime in and people can have conversations about this stuff. Like, if you enjoyed the first 2 rounds, tell me. And tell me why. I'd love to hear it. But, I just didn't. And it's sad because I enjoy basketball. It's probably my favorite sport. Well, was. But like the lack of, I don't know. It's kind of how basketball is anymore. It's very much in a box. It's start and stop, especially at the end of a game. A team gets on a run. If they go on a run, it's stopped either by immediate timeout or fouling or an official's whistle. Everything is start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. There is no flow in basketball anymore. It's not at a breakneck speed. It's not like anybody's flying up and down the court anymore. It's very segmented, and I'm not saying shit's rigged, but I mean, when you chop everything up into segments, like, they stop the game and go to immediate timeout after like 4 minutes of play. If a team is on a run to start the game, it automatically just stops and allows the other team to adjust just based off of that timeout alone. And then they can go on a run, which sometimes happens, most often happens, and they take the lead. Or they get back in it. I don't know. I'm not saying, that's not that how you rig it or whatever. I'm just saying it's I don't know. It ain't for me. I know that. I just want good shooting, good passing, good defense. I mean, is that too much to ask? I mean, what do they teach these kids at AAU? I mean, I don't know. fundamentals, man. Like that's I I really think that's why people are enjoying women's basketball now. You know, the women are some of them are better shooters than NBA vets. You know, they get back to the basics because I mean, they're not as super athletic as the men, but that's what makes basketball good is the fundamentals of it, the shooting, defense, rebounding. I was taught, you know, you might not be the you, you might not be the best player or the you know the best shooter or 6'5", but if you can rebound, I mean, look at Dennis Rodman. Even though he could score, I mean, he did like way early in his career, but you know, he was just a a nasty rebounder and defensive player. So, but that was 100 years ago. So, what the fuck do I know? Um, so yeah, that was a very for me disappointing first two rounds. So, yeah, I apologize. I'm not bringing the energy and the this live. I'm watching my bit rate just go up and down, red, yellow, sometimes green, and then I'm getting these warnings about the bit rate and stream health and all of that, and it's kind of bumming me out. Bumming me out, folks. And I've got a bunch of shit going on in the background and people. Eh, probably not the best time to go live, I suppose. It's about the only time I can, though. Uh, so, yeah, first two rounds of the tourney, disappointing. I mean, as the rounds go on, the games should get better, especially as the teams that are moving on are, you know, all top seeds and high seeds, unless you're St. John's. Oy. But yeah, so yeah, let's get into some other stuff before I get too bummed out and we gotta fucking cancel the whole goddamn stream. All right, so what do we got? Ah, yeah, the Cavs. Speaking of basketball, so the Cavs went into the weekend on a 4-game losing streak. Was it after Wednesday? They lost. They lose to the Kings at a 3-game losing streak, and I see everywhere people just losing their shit about the Cavs and what's going on and what's wrong with them and all this stuff. They looked really bad against the Clippers after winning 16 straight. Calm down. Calm the fuck down. Really. They won 16 straight. Okay? You are on the, where are we at here? Let's just say on the last stretch of the season. And they put on a hell of a winning streak. Kind of, maybe I'd even dare to say maybe at the wrong time. Because you put this big win streak. That takes a lot out of you. It really does. And I don't know if you can't keep that going. You're going to fizzle out at some point. And, that takes a lot out of you as a team, really. And, the fatigue is going to set in. So, I don't know. You can't maintain that. And then on top of it, you hit this West Coast trip, and that never really turns out well for an East Coast team. And then you top, you put the pressure of the winning streak on top of it. I don't know. You just kind of, it happens, and it's nothing to get crazy, oh my God, we're going to lose every game from this point on type of thing. But it's, I don't know. It is what it is, man. It's basketball. You're going to, now, if they would lose 16 in a row, yeah, kind of undoes the winning streak, right? So just everybody take it easy. It's basketball. This happens. Like, you have this big winning streak. At some point, you're going to lose a game or two or three or four. I mean, they ain't going to. But, what the winning streak that I want to see them go on is a winning streak in the playoffs. That's where you really turn it on. The good thing is you see them go to Boston, and they really make it a point to win in Boston. And those are the games that are important. They go to Milwaukee. They beat Milwaukee. That's good. Those are the markers that you need to pay attention to. Not going to LA after a 16-game winning streak, and then, they throw up a dud, and another, and then another, and then another. Phoenix is like I don't know what's up with Kevin Durant, but the dude just decides when he's gonna play, and maybe he got motivated to show up to beat the Cavs. I don't know. His team isn't even going to the playoffs. And if they do, whatever. Again, it is what it is. They're back on track. They beat the Jazz. Give them a bad team to beat, and let's just get some rest, get back home, get another win, I mean, it'll be fine. It'll all be fine. I just don't. I started to get worried when I started to hear Donovan Mitchell, going 2 for 18. Ooh. And then the rest of the team also not doing very well. That kind of gave me the vibe of that maybe they got too hot too soon, and the major cool off going into the playoffs won't help at all. That's still in the back of my mind, but I'm not. There's something different about the Cavs this year that I'm not too worried about it, but again, back to the type of play that goes on, especially in the playoffs, it's start and stop, start and stop. Then the last few minutes of the game turns into a goddamn free throw contest all the time. Yeah. You wouldn't think that I was a big basketball fan if you heard me talking for the first time today. Good thing nobody's watching, right? So yeah, let's just as the Cavs cool down, how about everybody else? Let's just let them play out the season here. They're in a good spot. They're at the top of the East still, not the top of the NBA because the Thunder keep winning. But that's been the way it's been for the whole season, really. I don't foresee that changing. Boston just doing enough to I don't know. They seem like that team to where the playoffs start and then they turn it on. And the Cavs, they still need, and that's why, Kendrick Perkins has something to say about it every goddamn time he opens his mouth on a pregame. Even if they aren't showing the Cavs, because it seems like he's the spokesman as to why ESPN doesn't fucking carry him. It's stupid. But Perkins always, I don't know what it is with the Cavs and him. He was one of my favorite players when he played for the Cavs. But boy, every time he has something to say about the Cavs, it ain't good. And he ain't impressed, and he thinks that the backcourt's too small, and they ain't got the horses to do it. They don't have Tatum or Brown. Like, well, no shit, Sherlock. But you know what? They had Tatum and Brown a couple years ago, and they couldn't find their way to the Eastern Conference Final for the longest time. So you tell me. Like, all of a sudden now it's a lock and the Celtics are just going to run away with it all. Dude, Cavs, let's just put the Cavs aside. You tell me who's going to win the NBA title this year. Is there a clear-cut team? Come on, man. Especially when you get to the playoffs, like, look at Jared Allen and the Cavs. You know, Bright's got too light. Bright's, jeez. The lights got too bright. Maybe the lights are too bright for me on live streams with nobody watching. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I Let's just all calm down. Calm down. Please. For the love of God. But yeah, I was. I was on the verge of getting worried, but I'm not anymore. I'm just Let's just see how things play out and go from there. You know. Now if they went on this long ass losing streak, then there's concern. But they'll they'll get back on track. Will they go on a 16 game winning streak? Who knows? Don't count on it. But, you know, let's let's see where it goes. I mean, let's see how they finish the season. So, let's move on from the Cavs to the Gardos. Gardos, we ain't gonna spend a bunch of time. We're gonna get into the Browns, and then I'm getting the hell out of here because there's just I'm annoyed. In case you can't tell, uh, Gardos made some noise over the weekend. Extended Tanner Bibee, who I guess is gonna be the ace of the rotation. What that means, I don't know. I mean, for as much of a ace for being the starter of the Gardenians, can be, you know. Shane Bieber's still here. I don't know what he can bring after his, injury. The fact that he still wants to be here, I mean, he could probably still be a quality starter. I don't know. I haven't seen too much of spring training. I don't really pay attention to spring training because everything changes when the season starts. You go in, just, I mean, they're like the baseball season is so long. You can't tell what's going to happen. Like you could have an idea, but like the thing with Trisha McKenzie, Shane Bieber. I mean, it's right there with Tanner Bibee. You know, it's got three solid starting pitchers, and Shane Bieber was the man. But again, injuries. So you don't know what you're really getting until they get out there and pitch. So, and the games start to count. So, yeah, but they extended Tanner Bibee for, I think it was 4 years, which is cool. The longer you can keep these guys, the especially guys like Bibee, because we've seen now that who's to say, maybe they signed him to that extension so they could trade him, knowing the way the Indians, the Guardians, the Gardos, the Guards, the Guardians. The way they operate, just because they sign an extension doesn't mean they're going to be here unless your name's Jose Ramirez. And that's just to sell jerseys and fill the ballpark. So I'm about to get into the Brown stuff and what's going on with I almost said Indians again. Look, I'm an old guy. I'll call them the Indians until I'm gone. It's also still Jacobs Field. I don't know. The front office is, it's all penny pitching for a franchise or franchises or a league that makes billions. And you got billionaires running franchises. But I understand, we can't be the Yankees or the Dodgers that can just hand out $300 million contracts to, Aaron Judge and Stanton and who the fuck ever. But, I mean, I wasn't, I don't know. I wasn't sold on Frankie Lindor. I'll call you Frankie. But I don't know. It's at some point you got to start keeping, more than one pillar. Franchise player. And the Cleveland's lucky that you have a guy like Jose Ramirez that is content and loves Cleveland enough to where, what is it? The 120 some million that he signed for was good enough for him. Guys like that don't, especially in baseball, man, guys like that don't exist. I mean, like kids grow up to play baseball because it doesn't even matter. You could, like, you have to grow up to be very good to be to hit the major leagues. But man, if you can stick, you got it made. You got it so made. You may never even see the field, but you'll make like $5 million a year. Goodness. But yeah, the Guards, kept somebody. That's good, right? It's good news. So they made a little bit of a news. So speaking of penny pitching franchises, this takes us to our main event. And what I really want to get into, I was kind of hoping maybe a couple people would join in, I guess. But, we're a small channel trying to make it big someday. But I'm just going to throw it out there. The Browns, yeah. I don't know what's going on right now between, I mean, I guess this fan base is just fractured. It's going to be forever split. Ever since Manziel, I think that's what started breaking this franchise. They broke us, guys. They've one way or the other, they broke us. I don't like it at all. Being a Browns fan used to be this very awesome club, I guess you could say. Like nobody really understands us. Really. And that's fair. That's fair, right? Nobody does, because it comes off like we really enjoy being the terrible, like the bad news bears of the NFL. We just enjoy it. No, we don't. But it's the Browns that put us through. Maybe that's it. We've been in like John Cena breaking up with the fans. We've been in this mentally abusive relationship, I suppose. That the Brady Quinns. Speaking of having the number 2 pick in the NFL draft, and we have to pick a quarterback. Even though there's no quarterback to take at 2. Does anybody remember that one? Remember that draft? That was even when we didn't have a left tackle, or an offensive line for that matter. And you had to, Joe Thomas can't do this or that, and he's not a quarterback. And sure, hindsight being 2020, they'd still drafted Joe Thomas and solidified the left tackle position, but didn't really work out great in the long run. I mean, he was a Hall of Famer for 100 different quarterbacks. But if you remember, Brady Quinn was supposed to, that was the fans' choice. Everybody wanted Brady Quinn. He was going to be the guy. He's from Ohio. He was this all-time great quarterback for Notre Dame. Woo. He's got the pedigree. This and that. He's got the arm. Oh, by the way, he too was super accurate in college. Just like Shadur. He was the people's choice. The Browns somehow, did what the Browns do. They traded back up at the bottom of the first round. I think it was to our lucky number 22. And got him. And everybody. We got the quarterback and the left tackle, and oh my God, we're going to the Super Bowl. All this and that, and thud. Then we draft, let's go through it. Charlie Fry, Akron, you know, and that year we even went the route of getting an established veteran in Trent Dilfer. Anybody remember that? Yes, Trent Dilfer used to be the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns at one point. This was many years after he left Baltimore and went other places and didn't do much, but we got Trent Dilfer that one year. Oh boy. And then, we spent big in free agency and we did a lot of things. We drafted Akron quarterback Charlie Fry. And then on, I believe it was a November Sunday, I think it was same weekend as Ohio State, Michigan, if I remember right. The Browns played at home against the Dolphins. Reuben Drones ran for like 150 yards. And Trent Dilfer got pulled for Charlie Fry. And I was there that day, and he got a Bernie Kosar standing ovation when he came in after Dilfer got pulled. And people lost their mind. I just wanted to see another quarterback that was not Trent Dilfer. So I was ecstatic and probably a little drunk. Okay, a lot of drunk, but, I mean, what else you were, especially in those days, what else was there to do? I mean, you did it. Don't lie. You've done it multiple times. But yeah, I'm getting off track. I'm sorry. Yeah. I've seen this movie before and I know what's going to happen. I mean, here's the thing, guys. Shedeur might be a good quarterback. He might be a really good quarterback. He might even make a Pro Bowl. And that's good for other franchises that know how to build their teams. This is not one of them. And I'm more for Cam Ward. And I really think I don't think the Browns are set on what they're going to do at 2. I think Cam Ward's still in play. It depends on what the Titans do. It depends on, how this quarterback situation fills out. Because, I mean, you don't trade. I understand Kenny Pickett is not the answer, and it isn't going to get anybody really excited. But they gave up a 5th round pick. They went out and traded for this guy. No matter who you pick at 2, Kenny Pickett's going to be your starting. I mean, unless they go and they sign Russell Wilson. I can't believe I just said that. They give Russell Wilson his $20 to $30 million for a year. Yikes. But unless they do something like that, like Kenny Pickett's going to be your starter to start the season at least. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that at all. But drafting Shedeur Sanders or even Cam Ward for that matter. Probably more so Cam Ward would, solidify him as a starter. But, Shedeur Sanders he's got to develop. He's not here's the thing. Everybody wants to compare Shedeur and Jaden Daniels from last season with the Commanders. The Commanders had a plan. They knew exactly who they were going to draft. They knew who they were going to go after. They got the guy that is familiar with him the most in Cliff Kingsbury. No longer Kingsbury. He's very familiar with him. He's very comfortable with him. So they went out and structured the offense for him to come in and succeed. The Browns are a fucking mess, man. They just got the third offensive coordinator. And if you're going to go by that alone, Tommy Rees, and how Kevin Stefanski's offense runs, I mean, your first thought goes to Jalen Milroe, because Tommy Rees was the offensive coordinator for Alabama when they recruited Milroe. And that's a big part. Whether, again, I'm not advocating for it. I'm not saying that's what I want to happen, but, what we want as fans and what they do are two completely different worlds. We want all this stuff. We want everything. We want 100 of the best players possible. We want to be, stacked. When we ain't got shit, guys. And what I'm saying is that number 2, you can't just draft a quarterback just because you need the quarterback. And Shedeur Sanders is the number 2 quarterback. When you're sitting in the top 5 of the NFL draft and you need plenty of other impact players at receiver, running back, tackle, on defense, you guys, Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett, I know we have a solid defense, and I know Jim Schwartz is a great coordinator and coach, but he also needs the guys to run his defense. And especially in a division like the Browns are in, with Baltimore and Pittsburgh, man, when you got Abdul Carter, who's my choice, by the way, and I'm coming around on Travis Hunter because you can use him at wide receiver, but also primarily play him at corner, which you need, by the way. You need another impact corner. I'm coming around to that too. I mean, Travis Hunter is a special player. Sorry, but he's a special player, and you can't just skip over guys like that just because you desperately need the quarterback when he is desperately not the guy. Not the guy. In order for it to work in Cleveland for the Browns, you need a generational elite talent Period. You need a Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, even though it really didn't turn out. But Andrew Luck, I mean, you take a look at, the number one picks against the number twos. I mean, look, I just said Peyton Manning. Number two, Ryan Leaf. Andrew Luck. Who was two to Andrew Luck? Was it Mariota? Now I got to look it up. Please hold. Please hold. Andrew Luck. Two. 2012 NFL Draft. Gimme. Oh boy. Oh. Just give me the order. Live streams are fun because then you just don't edit this stuff out. Can I get the... Oh, look at that. The most selections that year were the Browns. Got all those players to go over suck. Yeah. No. Not Mariota. RG3. That was the number 2 pick. By the way. Mariota was with Winston. Yeah. So, yeah, just a small example. Everybody wants to argue about, who you need. Yeah, I agree. But that quarterback is not in this year's draft. Period. And I hate to tell you, and I'd love to argue with you or talk about it, but nobody wants to look. Mocha says hello. Thank you. She's saying hi. Yeah. It's not a great strategy. I'm sorry. It's not. I say you take Abdul Carter, you help Myles Garrett on defense, especially for a pass rushing defense that you have with Schwartz. You need all the pass rushers. Somebody name me another pass rusher other than Myles Garrett. I'll wait. I'll wait for the chat. Anybody? No? Okay. So, I don't know. It is what it is. That's my opinion. You take a quarterback later. You fill in, the major needs. And if you hit, if my guy, I have an eye on Quinn Ewers. So you have the draft picks, he's in the right spot for where you can get him. The guy's a winner, first of all. You know, everybody wants all the fancy shit, like that comes with the prime Sanders. And I'm another thing on that. I'm not sold on the fact that, Deion Sanders is going to be okay with his son going to the Cleveland Browns at all. At all. I'm not sold on that. He won't shit on them because they're all doing the dance right now, and he's not going to publicly say that, but he's trying. I guarantee, probably behind the scenes, it's going to be another Eli Manning situation, really, to where, if you remember, the Chargers were gonna draft him, but he was refusing to go to the Chargers and demanded that he preferred to go to the Giants. And so the Chargers and Giants decided to switch. And then that's when the Chargers took Phillip Rivers instead. This kind of has that same type of feel. I feel like somebody. I feel like either the Titans or somebody's going to trade up to get Cam Ward, and they're going to jump the Browns. And I don't know. I think it really comes down to that, and I think as we get closer to the draft, I think the main thing will be, I don't think anybody's going to come out and they might come out and trash the Browns, but there's going to be a narrative around the fact that, like, Sanders wants to go to New York. I don't know how, or I don't know why, but it just has that feel. We shall see. But I say, this franchise, the whole Watson signing, no matter how you feel about it, it's went to shit. It just did. Whether it was bound to happen, it was bound to happen. But I don't know. I just don't. I give Andrew Berry a lot of credit so far this offseason, at least trying to fill voids with no money. I mean, they went out and addressed a backup tackle, possibly a starter, or at least good enough to be a starter, with Cornelius Lucas, and they went out and signed Trevin Jenkins from the Bears, who I guess people really like. They say he's a starting caliber guard, and somehow he decided to come to Cleveland to play behind Wyatt Teller and Joel Bitonio, unless there's a plan to move them, which I read earlier, and nobody was citing who it was, but sources were saying that there are rumors that the Browns are trying to get Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers, so maybe there's something in play there, but I mean, again, I'm going to give Barry some credit here. He's in a tough spot. I mean, it's not even between a rock and a hard place. It's between two boulders. or, just two rocks stuck in the ground. And there's not a lot of wiggle room. And he's finding a way to wiggle. So I give him credit there. I mean, Jerome Baker's a good linebacker. I mean, call me a Buckeye honk, but I mean, he fits the defense well, especially for what they do. They don't really emphasize the linebacker position. It's not a priority in Schwartz's defense. I mean, it has its, it has its importance, but on the three tiers of the defense, it's the last one. So, I mean, Jerome Baker's probably their best signing other than Malik Collins. But man, you still need another defensive tackle. Like, you need a stud along the defensive line. You need another defensive end to go on the other side of Miles. You need to give Miles some, help, and just like real help for years to come. That's why I say Abdul Carter. Now, he might not play defensive end. He might be outside linebacker, but he's the other pass rusher that you can put on the other side of that defense. And really, that kind of takes their defense to another level, I think. I think they should practically do this the right way. And, like, just 2025 be a wash. Go 3-14 or 4-13 or whatever you need to do. And with the young offensive weapons that you draft, like, you're gonna have a rookie running back. You're probably gonna have another rookie receiver. I don't know. Possibly a rookie left tackle or right tackle, maybe. Boy, I shouldn't have done this segment. Oh boy. I don't want to be doom and gloom. I just wanted to talk some perspective, because I see all the, let's talk draft, and it's going to be Shadur, right? It's got to be. And then you get all these people, they speak it as if it's fact before anything even happens, and then the draft comes, and then we are, going nuclear over things that you came up with and thought they were the best for the team because you're the GM. Now, we might be better at the GM position than a lot of other guys that have come in and done so, and I agree. But, what we want and what we would do are way different. In case nobody's been paying attention, what we want and what they want to do are way different things. They want just enough shininess to get you to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for that season tickets for that brand new stadium. This is all it's about. The Browns have to get serious. They have to show that they're serious about winning long term. kicking the can down the road with all these contracts, like even Miles' contract. You're just gonna kick it all down the road. This is the same shit that they've always done. Like the Trent Dilfers, the Jeff Garcias, Seneca Wallace, Colt McCoy. Like, I don't know. And I say Colt McCoy, because that was Holmgren's guy. So don't come to him about playoff tickets. He tried to sell everybody on that bullshit, and everybody bought into it, and everybody's buying into it again. I don't agree. That's the reason why I wanted to do this today. I just wanted to throw it all out there and, give some perspective. I would have really appreciated it if, I got some other people that had an opinion about it. And we've been going about a little over an hour and a half now. So I think I'm going to close it up. Learned quite a bit about bit rates and computer usages and things like that. But this is where I'm going to leave you. I think it sucks. I think everybody that actually has a voice in Browns land out there, their takes are shit. And you gotta draft Shitter Sanders. You gotta, go get Brandon Ayuk. Why didn't we go Deebo Samuel? Why don't we spend all this money and trade everything? We got nothing to trade. We got no money to spend. I don't know what people are expecting. But get with it, man. I want this team to be better, but the expectation, like last year, was out of hand. Everybody just expected Deshaun Watson to just step in and be this. Now, to be fair, what he's getting paid and the reason that they brought him here, that was the expectation. True. And they should be held to that very much. But, people just, going crazy in training camp and being like, oh man, we're going to win it was automatic. We're going to win the division. We're going to go to the playoffs. We're going to have a real shot at it. You totally forgot about them shitting the bed against the Texans. Even the great defense that they had. Anyway, that'll do it for today. I'm sorry about all the buffer and bullshit. Guess I didn't have that on my bingo card for the day. I just I wanted to start establishing, a live stream, because I mean, that's my ultimate goal, is to get people to subscribe and come in and chat and, have conversations about all this stuff. Because I'd really like to know people's opinions about, where they come from, and still leave a comment. I'll read them after the fact. I just would love to know, people's mindsets as far as, what do you think Shedeur Sanders is going to contribute to the Browns with one one wide receiver and an offensive line that couldn't protect anybody, really. Maybe the offensive line gets a little better because they're going to go back to a scheme that they know. But at the same time, your tackle, you're moving your right tackle to left tackle, which I'm all for because I love DeJuan Jones. But there's a lot to bank on here, and a shaky Jack Conklin that, I liked him, but I like him better when he's healthy. Be way better. And then there's no Nick Chubb coming back, and I don't know how we're going to replace him, even with an outstanding rookie, because a rookie's a rookie in the NFL, especially a running back. I don't know, man. But yeah, I was kind of hoping to get some other opinions, even if it was like from 2 to 5 people. That'd been kind of cool. But I suppose maybe we just keep coming back on. Maybe I just need to get on here and just blow the fuck up. Like, get in arguments with, like, your favorite media personality or whatever. I don't know. I don't have time to get into all that bullshit. I'm just here as a fan trying to tell you guys that, stop being sheep and start thinking for yourselves. Start thinking logically. Like, Shadur Sanders, come on, man. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm not sold. I don't think he's worth the number 2 pick. There, I said it. So, but yeah, I was trying to maybe get some other people to join in and, like, start having a convo. Maybe tomorrow. We'll be here once again tomorrow. Maybe not. The 11 start time. Maybe a little later. Maybe too many people are interested in like the really big show still at 11. I don't know. So will be some same, maybe not the same bat time, but definitely the same bat channel. And until then, we shall see you on the next one, everybody. If you happen to watch this in the future, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please and thank you. Again, if check out some of the other videos that are not as exciting. Follow on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, whatever. Again, floats your boat. And or go to Believelandia.com. We have some articles, all the other YouTube videos, And we shall see you tomorrow. And maybe we will continue this conversation. I forgot about Mock Draft Monday. Fuck. Head on over to Facebook. I might post my mock there. That's if I don't get too down about today. Oh man. All right, guys. Until tomorrow, we shall see you on the next. Peace.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe. There's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all